Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Hunter. I am a student at Fayetteville Technical Community College, where my professor is Professor Aaron Ledson. Tonight I will be doing a commemorative speech, and I will be speaking about a woman that you will be familiar with by the time I'm done with this paper. I have a PowerPoint presentation to my right that will be shown while I'm doing my speech, so please look at that because it will relate to the paper. After I finish my speech, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And again, thank you for coming tonight. Am I my brother's keeper? In the Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 4:9 says, "The Lord says to Cain, 'Where is Abel your brother?' Cain says, 'I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?'" Have any of you really thought about your answer to that question? Well, honestly, I think it would be different for everyone. Yet, I am sure that the woman I am speaking about tonight to you, her answer would be, yes, I am my brother's keeper. I went to Wikipedia and I found out that Araminta Ross was born around March 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, to her slave parents, Harriet Green and Ben Ross. Araminta was the fifth of 11 children, 5 boys and 6 girls. Her mother, who may have been the child of a white man, was a cook for a family named the Boses. Her father managed the timber. He was skillful at working with wood, so he was the manager of the Thompson plantation. Araminta was called Harriet after her mother. Harriet had several experiences with oppression. Around the age of 6, Harriet was sold to a woman named Miss Cook. When she was sold to Miss Cook, she experienced going through or having to roll yarn, and the yarn was a thread-like material that was on the cardboard piece of paper. If Harriet misplaced the yarn by breaking it or getting it cut, she would be whipped, and she would be whipped with a whip, because back then it was slavery time, and that was the punishment they received. At age 12, one of the slave masters had seen one of the slave men doing things in the field that he shouldn't have been doing. He was playing around. So he decided he would pick up a 2-pound iron weight and he would throw it at the slave. But unfortunately, when he picked up the iron weight, instead of it hitting the slave, it hit Harriet, and it hit her in the head. Even though it hit her in the head, Harriet says that her hair had never been combed. It was big and bushy, and she called it a bushel basket. She says that her hair was what saved her. The big, bushy hair that was on her head prevented the weights from scarring her worse than it could have. Such events led Harriet to adapt a life of Christianity. She felt God was speaking to her. Harriet believed in the Old Testament, but not the New Testament. And that's the yarn. Now we'll see the iron. And that's the hair that Harriet had, the type of hair. Now, Harriet was married to John Tuberman in 1844, but never had any children of her own. We found this in the Freedom Journal of 2012 online. She freed herself in 1851 when she crossed the Mason-Dixon line into Philadelphia. She had left out of Maryland to go and free herself in Philadelphia, but she felt that she needed to go back for her family, so she did. The website Black Star Exodus tells us that William Lloyd Garrison gave her the name Moses, like the prophet in the book of Exodus who led Hebrews to freedom from Egypt. After years of her rescue, she returned to save her husband, whom has since married, and he did not wish to leave with Harriet to become free. Harriet had took all her time trying to save others, and her husband that she came back to save decided he did not want to go with her. She later helped in liberating over 3,000 slaves with the help of Thomas Garrett, a well-known Quaker of Wilmington, Delaware. After her husband died during the Civil War, she married Nelson Davis. She became a soldier and a spy and a nurse. She could cure diseases like dysentery with native herbs. She was the first black woman to lead an armed expedition into war on 3 gunboats, liberating more than 700 enslaved Africans in South Carolina. Yet she was denied payment of her wartime, but given a $20 a month pension due to her husband's service. So therefore, she wasn't paid for her work; she was paid for her second husband's work. She helped to organize the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Harriet Tubman Home for Aged and Indigent Negroes, which she established in Auburn, New York. After having brain surgery in the late 1890s, she spent her last years in that home. She traveled to New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C. to speak out in favor of women's voting. She died on March 10, 1913, after suffering from pneumonia. She had devoted her life to saving others and fighting for equality for those that were in bondage. I can envision how she walked at night quietly, sneaking out those that wanted to be free, unselfishly risking her life for others, but not just family, but friends and people that she may not have even known. Am I my brother's keeper? That is the question I ask you tonight. Yes, Miss Harriet Tubman was her brother's keeper. Can we all say that? Thank you for coming tonight, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them right now.
Yes, ma'am. What is dysentery?
Dysentery is an infection of the body. It's on the inside of the body, and it comes from basically being dirty. But the thing about it is that if you drink water, they found that if you drink water, it causes you to die quicker because the faster you drink water, the more the water seeps out of your body, causing you to have dehydration. And if you're a child or an elderly person, it kills you quicker because of your immune system and the infection and the fever kills you.
Oh, Harriet's second marriage, did she have any children?
No, she never had any children with her first husband or her second husband. Yes, ma'am.
Where did you find most of your information on Harriet Tubman?
Most of my information came from Wikipedia online. They have an abundant resource of information there. If there be no more questions, that'll be it for tonight. And thank y'all for coming and have a safe ride home.
Thank you.
Thank you.